Hello everyone, and welcome to the Matthew Alton Art channel again. I thought today I would do a video documenting me having a go at plein air sketching. My partner and I went to a National Trust property in Warwickshire today called Baddesley Clinton, and while I was there I thought I would try and revisit doing some work outdoors in the great outdoors. I think the idea of an artist going out for the day and recording what he has seen or she has seen is a really romantic one. I've always wanted to do it, but last year I tried several times taking out gouache paints with me and an easel, and I tried to sort of create something worthwhile while outdoors, and I was really disappointed with the efforts that I made. I found it a very uncomfortable experience, difficult to sit in the right place with a view that you wanted to paint. I found the lugging of the equipment annoying. I've got sort of like an outdoor plein air bag, an Etch a Slate Mini, which I took with me, but it's still weight and taking the water with you and the easel to put your paper on, those sorts of things. So I found it quite an annoying experience rather than a romantic experience, which the vision might say that it would be. You can see here that I'm sitting in front of a lake. On the left is the sort of photograph of the scene that I'm drawing. It's actually I've zoomed into just the tree on the edge of an island in this lake. That's one of the things I struggled with last year, actually, finding a part of the landscape that I wanted to focus on. And actually, because of the efforts that I made last year and the difficulties I had, I did buy a sort of viewfinder, plastic image capture tool, but I didn't use that today actually, because the tree on the island lent itself to being captured. It's a solitary thing anyway, so I thought that's what I would focus on, and it made it easier for me to just focus on the tree. I also thought, because I'd struggled last year, that I would make things much simpler as I start to try this again this year. And you can see that all I'm doing is using a mechanical pencil with, I think, a 5 bead head in it, and a small moleskin sketchbook, which I've done other sketches in before. You can see one of those on the left hand face of the sketchbook. And I thought that without all the extra carrying of water, easels, that sort of thing, I might be able to build up to that again once I've got used to sitting out there and drawing. So that was the point of having a go at this today. I was only sketching for about 20-30 minutes. I was with my partner, and obviously it's not very exciting for him to sit watching me sketching for hours on end. So I was on a time constraint here. But actually he's the one that actually videoed me doing the sketching here that I have captured to enable me to talk and share my process in this video. So thank you very much to him. It did actually work quite well compared to the experiences of last year. So because I'd simplified it, you can see that I'm just resting the sketchbook on my knee. There's no easels involved. I'm actually sitting on a bench, so that was quite handy as well. So it was fairly comfortable to sit there. I wasn't trying to sit on the floor, which I tried last year and found that very uncomfortable to paint while sitting on the floor, that sort of thing. So I think sort of by simplifying it, I may have found the key to getting used to drawing or sketching outdoors for a start, and may be able to up the complexity as we go through this summer and I experiment more, and maybe I'll get back to trying to paint outdoors when I've got used to doing sketches. I don't know if anybody else is used to sketching outdoors regularly or painting outdoors regularly, and if there's any tips that you can give me to improve the experience. What I've done today has certainly helped, so that's a good thing, but there may be some tips there that other people have got that make it work for them, and I'd love to hear those in the comments if anybody does have any tips, because it is something that I do want to keep trying until I get comfortable doing it, really, if I ever do get comfortable doing it. you can see that I'm working quite loosely, and I'm just putting some shadows under the tree on the water there. It's sort of not exactly representative of what's in front of me. On my drawing, the tree looks much bigger and grander than it does on the actual photograph, which is a much smaller tree, but I've sort of zoomed in to the tree and sort of made it look grander. But that doesn't really matter. As I've said in my videos before, when talking about portraits and things like that, it doesn't matter if the portrait looks like the person really in the likeness, especially when you're beginning, because nobody is going to see the portrait next to the actual person or the view of the person that you had when you were doing it. Just like nobody's going to know that my drawing in this sketchbook is of this particular tree at Baddesley Clinton. It's about whether the sketch stands up as a sketch in terms of light and shadow balance, that sort of thing. And I think this is getting there, but certainly for the 20 minutes or so that I had to draw it. And more importantly, it's about enjoyment, and I've struggled to enjoy outdoor working before, and this is probably one of the few times where I've actually thought it's half enjoyable. So yeah, let me know of any tips and tricks that you've got that might make me like this experience even more as the summer goes on. I'd be really interested to hear them. Well, just to finish the video off, here's the final sketch. I took a photograph of it afterwards in the sketchbook. As I've said, it's not the best sketch ever, but it was quite an enjoyable experience drawing it, which made a pleasant change from my experience of on plein air last year. And, you know, I'm half pleased with it. I think I'm definitely going to persevere with the basic materials that I have used this time, with some more sketching, probably on a day out on my own, so that I don't have to worry about time constraints because I'm not making somebody bored who's with me. And thank you for watching. I hope you found it useful. If you haven't done plein air drawing or sketching, maybe you can take on board some of these tips to make it easier for you to start with before making the mistakes that I made last year and getting far too complicated too soon, I think, before I was used to it. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks very much. Bye.